Okay, good. I can see people trickling in. I know we're running a little bit behind, so thank you for your patience. I am Nancy Sanchez, your Community Engagement Coordinator with TPA. We're so glad to have you here today. Um, we will be talking all things Podfest. So I will be turning this over to Ty, who will be moderating, and Nick brings us forth tons of phenomenal information. So thank you for joining us today. Um, Ty, all yours.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thank you for joining us for this. One of the questions that we get a lot from people whenever a big podcast festival or event is going to be coming up, they're like, "What do I do? What do I need to prepare for? What do I need to bring? Is it business cards? Do we still do that? Do we do digital cards? Do we need to bring some sort of promo item? How do I talk up to somebody that's at a table, you know what I mean, that's hosting? And if I see a big name, what do I do? Do I freak out and fangirl, or do I just act cool? Do I get asked for a photo? And so we're lucky enough to have partnered up with Podfest to talk about one of the biggest podcast festivals that's about to come up in January. And so Nick Pavlidis, I hope I said your name semi correctly in the last part.
Close enough. I've been called a lot worse, so we're good.
Pavlidis. It sounds very
Pavlidis. Yes,
Italian. I need
sir.
to put the
Greek.
Italian. Yes. Oh, okay. The Greek. You got to put the Greek in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, well, yeah, we're very excited to have Nick come and join us and to sort of walk us through of like how to pace yourself, what to expect, things to keep in mind while you're at the festival, and how to maximize your total time there. The main point is how do you make this valuable for yourself? Because everybody's going to get some sort of value by going to a festival like Podfest. And so, what is that goal for you? How to get those values and how to prepare to both receive and not exhaust yourself at the same time, because it can be a lot. So, Nick, with that, I will turn it over to you. And if you're here and you have some questions along the way that you hear Nick while he's talking, you can leave those in the chat, and then we'll do a Q&A after Nick. All right, thanks, Nick.
Yeah, Ty, thanks so much. First of all, I mean, super honored to be here with you. TPA is what a great resource for podcasters to be able to engage with each other, connect, learn from mentors and experts and industry pioneers. And, podcasting can be really lonely, especially if you're audio only, because you're just staring at a computer when you're talking and you're not even looking at yourself, right? So to have this valuable resource for people to get together on a regular basis, super, super powerful. So first of all, Podfest is super honored that TPA is coming and having a pretty significant presence. We were honored to be able to sort of come up with something that where we could invest in TPA as well to allow you to really shine and showcase what you do with people and for people. So we're pumped about that. So I don't want to take the whole call to tell you how appreciative we are, but I could. How about that? What I thought, so a little bit about me, I am the managing partner and CEO of Podfest. Before that, I was an attendee and a sponsor of Podfest. I sponsored Podfest several years and I attended several years. And in September of 2023, the founder of Podfest, Chris Krimitsos, approached me and said, "Man, I think I've taken Podfest as deep as I could take it." And he knew a little bit about my history. I also own a book publishing company called Morgan James Publishing. I own a ghostwriting agency where I help people create written content, books, articles, um, email sequences to nurture relationships on autopilot, and a bookstore. So I have about seven brands that I use to help thought leaders um, really monetize their intellectual capital so they can write their way and create their way into a different future, maybe better, maybe just different. And so I'm just when Chris approached me about, hey, can you help me with Podfest like you've helped the publishing company and some of your clients? I was intrigued by it, but I had never run an event, and so I'd been to several events, and I had the knack, so to speak, of going to events and actually getting a return on my investment. It wasn't just a vacation; it was a really helpful trip. In fact, still to this day, when I go to events, I have never left an event without and I'm not saying this to brag, but just for some context, I've never left an event without over $100,000 worth of leads and closing at least 5 figures worth of leads to make every single event that I have attended that's at least a full day event a significant benefit. And so I do that using a very specific process. I don't teach the process a lot. And so I've taught it to lawyers. I've taught it informally. And so I wanted to come here with a conversation piece, but when we were talking, I think it really could use more of an outline, more of a checklist. So I'm going to challenge myself after this, Ty. If you have people who are coming to Podfest, or really even people who are not coming to Podfest, I'm going to put together what I'm about to say. I'm going to take it from my notes that I have. And I am going to make it into something a little more organized, whether that's a PDF or a presentation. Then I will do that, and so that way TPA members can have access to that as a reminder. So just they don't need to opt in with Podfest. I'll send you the files. You use it with TPA however you please. And so the first thing I want to say is that getting a return on investment. First of all, a conference really should be enjoyable. So I'm going to talk a lot about how to get that return on investment. But as podcasters who are lonely, as business people who are sometimes stressed, as someone who's got this passion and really wants to try to monetize it, and you're so sick of working as a CPA or a lawyer like I was a lawyer for 13 years before retiring for the practice of law to become a ghostwriter, much to the excitement of my parents. And then I did that in 2015 part-time, 2016 full-time. And my father came straight off the boat from Greece. My mother was born here. She's 100% Greek. And the fact that their son was a lawyer was a real matter of pride for them. And then when I quit the practice of law, they thought, goodness, how much is it going to cost us to support this guy now? Because he's going to be a writer. But I haven't asked them for money since. So now they finally, 10 years later, think, okay, well, maybe he's on to something. So, first I want to just give you permission to have the return be emotional, to be spiritual, whatever that means to you, to be to get that return as a return on people, a return on energy, a return on motivation, just to know that you're not alone and that you matter and that your message matters and your voice matters and that there are people just like you or people who need people just like you. And even if you only leave Podfest or another conference with renewed hope, with renewed energy, with just that acknowledgement that your message matters or your method matters if you're teaching people some way to achieve a specific goal, I want to give you permission to do that, to not feel the pressure of saying, okay, I need to leave with $100,000 in leads or whatever that means. But you certainly could. And I'm going to tell you some reasons how. So this is really meant to help you leave conferences with a positive return. So you're not wasting time and money. But the first step of that is to define the return. And it starts before. It's really important. If you're going to Podfest, it's less than a month away. It starts January 15th. And so we're recording this on December 18th live. So you have less than a month to get there. Now is the time where you start to plan how you get the return. And how do you do that? You define what return on investment means for you. Is it, I just want to get renewed energy? Is it, I just want to get a specific piece of information? Or is it, I just need to know that I'm not alone? That's fine. Or is it, hey, I want to meet people who can help me grow, help me go. I want to find resources to help me become more efficient, or whatever it is. And so before you go to the conference, really the number one, the first step is to choose the right conference. And now for Podfest, you may attend. We have sponsors, of course. So choosing the right conference is super important because I tell people there are 4 types of people you need in your life if you want to be living your dream, whatever that is. Your life will be determined based on these 4 people. And I call them prospects, influencers, gatekeepers, and supporters, PIGS. And so PIGS is the acronym. If in business, you might, I don't love this phrase because it, I don't know, it's a little gloomy, but but it's certainly memorable. And so like in business, the more pigs in your world, the more bacon you bring home, right? And so prospects. So prospects are always people. A lot of people will go to a podcast conference and they say, listen, I want to find my prospects are listeners, or my prospects are in my business. My prospects are uh, lawyers in their 30s or accountants who are nearing retirement, whatever that is. And that's okay. However, I don't want you to think of this big, I want you to actually have a picture of someone. Who are your favorite listeners, the ones who reach out to you all the time? Who are your favorite clients or customers? The ones who repeat, are easy to work with, are nice to you. That's super important, right? And so I want you to have an idea of who are these 4 types of people, because the more of these people you collect, the easier your life's going to be, the easier it is to get a return on investment, the easier it is for you to hit your goals. So prospects, another important point about prospects is prospects are never companies. So a lot of people, they want to serve a corporate environment and say, okay, I need to go meet podcast hosting companies. No, you can't meet a hosting company. Like hosting companies can't hire you, but the marketing manager at a hosting company can. So it's a human being at the company. So I really want you to look for, how do I build relationships? Are my prospects going to be in this building? Now, when it comes to Podfest, we have a whole broad range. We have a whole full expo hall. We have, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of podcasters who are going to come there. We actually are trending well ahead of last year's attendance. We hope we're going to have 2,000-3,000 people registering for Podfest this year, which will be really exciting. And they're from all different walks of life, which is cool. So prospects are number 1. Number 2, the other type of people that you want to be meeting in order to help lead you forward are influencers. Influencers are people your prospects pay attention to. In fact, everybody who attends Podfest is an influencer if they have a podcast or if they're launching a podcast. But they're bloggers, podcasters, writers, journalists, reporters. These are people who create content that your prospects consume. And so if you want to collect more prospects, more listeners, being on someone's podcast or quoted in someone's blog or connected through someone, a social media influencer, they help open you to new audiences. But they're different than the next group, which is gatekeepers, in that your prospects don't pay them money. They just pay attention to them. And so they can give you street cred. They can give you, like if you appear, you see as seen on people's website, they give you credibility, social proof. But they can also get people there. The third type of people are gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are people who are more trusted advisors. They're direct referral sources. They're people who your prospects already paid money to. So if you have a podcast for contractors, these are people who they're CPAs for contractors. So these people, the fact that your prospects, your ideal listener or your ideal future customer pays money to these people, it builds deep loyalty, action orientation. So if their CPA tells them you should check out Elise's podcast, helping conference owners, they're going to do it because they pay them. There's this inherent, I trust this person. So prospects, influencers, gatekeepers, and then finally support. And so support is super, super important. These are people at home. If you don't have a great support system at home, these might be people if you join a mastermind group or a networking group or even a Facebook group. Just people to encourage you, to remind you that you're human, to remind you that you're not perfect, to remind you that it's okay that you're not perfect because nobody is, and just to keep encouraging you in truth. And to say, hey, that you trust when they say this is great, that it's great, or you also are okay if they say, you know what, I think you have a blind spot that I'd like to point out. And so if you decide what success means for you, not just for the conference, but 3 years from now, if you're just living the life that you love, what does that look like? What are you recording for content? What are you doing for work? Where do you live? Do you travel for work? Or are you a homebody? So you define that life. You begin with the end in mind and then think to yourself, okay, for me to be talking about that, for me to be making money this way, for me to be having this travel or not so travel lifestyle, Who are the people that I'm serving? Those are your prospects. And who are the people who can give me credibility in front of those? Those are your influencers. Who are the people who can connect me to groups of those with such a deep enough trust that their word transfers credibility to me and someone will listen, subscribe, or hire me with a snap of the fingers because Jolene said so. Those are your gatekeepers. And then finally, who are the support people? Who do I need? It could be one person, it could be 5 people, it could be a 100-person mastermind. I need support for when times are tough. Because if you're struggling right now, I promise you, you're not the only one struggling. But I also promise you that some people are thriving in any environment, in any political environment, in any economical environment, in every situation, every day in the history of this world, there are people who are struggling and there are people who are thriving. And so there is opportunity everywhere. And sometimes it's okay just to be in your mess. It's always okay to be in your mess. And having people to help you, let you know that you're not alone, but also encourage you and guide you and give you some loving accountability to help pull you forward and remind you that there are people who are succeeding and you're no different than them. It's your cycle of success, perhaps, is just not in the same place there. And so before you go, identify this, identify your goal, and then know who is it that you're looking to meet. These 4 types of people. And so what I like to say about Podfest is what we do is we create a room where everything an independent podcaster needs to become successful is within the 4 walls of Podfest. Are we going to have every hosting company there? Absolutely not. Are we going to have every equipment company there? No. Are we going to have every single podcast connection software? No, but we will have some amazing brands that check every single box that you need to become successful. Alex Sanfilippo is going to be there with Podmatch. If you need to reach audiences, Podmatch is one of our global sponsors. They will be there to help you get set up and connect it with other podcasters. Like every 4 hours, they connect you with other podcasts that AI suggests could be a good fit. It's like dating. Podmatch is like dating apps for podcasters so podcasters can find great guests and great guests can find podcasters. And so you can leave with all of the resources that you need to become successful, whether that's connecting with more podcasters, whether that's finding people who can open you up to listeners, or just leaving with support. So you know your goals, know the people that you have there. So then the next thing I want you to do before you go to any conference, even Podfest, is to have a system, because a lot of people will go to Podfest, they will go to a conference, and they will love what they're doing there. It'll be so exciting. If you haven't been to Podfest yet, there's an energy there. And that's part of the reason why when Chris asked me, hey, are you interested in coming on board with Podfest? I was like, yes, but I knew nothing about running events. It's because you go there and you just feel like it's a family reunion. There are people from all walks of life, and everyone is there to help. If you see me in the hallways, I'll be running around. But if you see me in the hallways, I love when people stop me. If I'm rushing to get somewhere, I will introduce myself. I'll say thank you. I'll say, I got to get somewhere, but please, please, please stop me anytime you see me in the hallway. And so they get excited, but then they come home and nothing happens. All they have, like Ty said, was a stack of business cards. And that business card sits on their desk and they look at it, but then they get back to life. And so the business cards stay there for about a week, or maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 months. And eventually you start thinking, you know what? I don't even remember the business. I don't even remember why I was going to get in touch. And then the business cards, maybe they go into a drawer or maybe they go into the trash. And so I want you to do 2 things to set you up for success before you go. Really 3 things. Number 1, I want you to get support outside of the conference before you go. And I don't know if you have an assistant, if you have a friend, if you have a relative, if you have a parent, and say, hey, mom, I know I could do this with my mom. I happen to have an assistant that does this with me. But I say, Mom, I'm going to a conference. I need your help because I really want to meet podcasters in the sports space there. And so I'm going to be looking around and I am going to talk with them. And once I'm done talking with them, I'll either exchange business cards with them or I will get their contact information somehow. And if I get their contact information, whether it's digital or whatever, I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to text it to you with a quick message. Can you please just put that information into a spreadsheet? Or for me, my assistant, I'm going to text you a picture, put this in a spreadsheet with a note. And I'll say, I talked with Andrew and, and we had a great conversation about hosting companies. Please remind me to introduce Andrew to rss.com or to whatever. Right. And so then when I come home, I don't have to remember any of that. Now, if you don't have someone at home, then take a notebook with you. And when you're talking with someone, it's perfectly okay to say, do you mind if I take notes? Because this is really important and I want to remember, I want to make sure when I get back, I don't forget that I want to make, if there's a connection I can make. They will absolutely say yes. Some of the best networkers in the world, when I was practicing law for 13 years, first 10 years in New York City, large law firm. And I would go to all these networking meetings and people would just pull out a notebook. And at first it was weird. It's like, you're not paying attention to me. No, it's more than that. It's this meeting is so important to me. I want to make sure that I take notes and it's super, super helpful. So take notes and write down their name. And don't just do a business card in the pocket, but yes, write down a note on the business card, but also write down a note to remind yourself. It takes an extra minute or two, but it's super, super helpful. Send introduction to whatever, just some sort of notes, then thank them and then move on. So before, have some support, have a system for that follow-up, because the old saying goes, the fortune is in the follow-up. So number 2, I want to encourage you to go in groups. And what I mean by that is you don't need to have 500 people with you, but bring one friend. This is especially true for introverts. I am a huge introvert. I put on a brave face, and that's why I say stop me in the hallway, because I won't stop, because it's so easy for me to just hide in my corner and just focus on all the stuff that goes into putting on an event. But I would love the introductions. And so let me remember back, I said, I've never left a conference without $100,000 plus in leads for my ghostwriting business and my publishing company and things like that. But that's as an introvert. And so first of all, try to go with friends. And I encourage you, if you can, to bring 3 others. So it's 4 people walking around together, and at least 1, but 4 people. And now 4 people, so at least 2 or 4, so at least 1 or 3 friends. This allows you to do 2 things. It's either really, really good or really, really bad. So first, let me help you avoid the really, really bad. Really, really bad is Nick's going with Ty, and Nick and Ty stand in the corner and just get in our, just talk and just get together and chat and catch up and whatever. I don't want to say that's bad, because who wants who wants to just sit there and talk to Nick all day? But I'm saying it's bad because that doesn't allow me to get that return. And so what I want you to do is go with 3 people who all could benefit from being there, or 1 other person who could benefit from being there. Talk to each other before you go and talk about your prospects, your influencers, your gatekeepers, or the support that you're looking to create. Talk about your goals, share your dream with each other, and then break up into pairs of 2 and walk around together and be each other's wing people. So I used to go with 4 or more people total, and we would pair up and break out and then meet up and switch partners or whatever. So we're walking around and we're having conversations with people, and it's so much easier to approach people when you have some help. We have a wing person there, and we get to know each other, and we ask them a lot of questions. Oh, what do you guys do? What are you looking to get here? Is this your first time here? And you have these conversations, and you listen to them, and they say, let's say someone says, oh, well, I'm looking to write a book. And Ty is walking around with, whoever. Ty's walking around with someone that he came with. Ty can say, you know who you need to meet? You need to meet Nick. Nick has a ghostwriting agency. He's written 7 Wall Street Journal bestsellers, 8 USA Today bestsellers. He helps people fulfill books, all this stuff. He is the best. And now, would I say that to people? Yeah, I would tell people about how I help people, but I would not say I'm the best, right? And so Ty will then offer to make a connection. You know what? I'm going to send a text right now to the two of you. What's your number? Or I'm going to send an email to make sure you guys connect because I think he could be a great resource for you. Ty makes that introduction. As an introvert, number one, huge. It breaks the ice. Number two, I get Ty talking great about me. So it pumps me up. And Ty theoretically has had a great experience with this person. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking together. And Ty, I know, has good energy. And so you're able to be each other's wing people. You walk around not even worried about making introductions for yourself. You're thinking about the other 3 people. How can I get Andrew a connection? How can I get Elise a connection? How can I get Jolene a connection? How can I get Ty a connection? And you know that Andrew, Elise, Jolene, Ty are all out there doing the same thing for you. You're not worried about yourself because you got 3, 4 people, 5 people all out there trying to help you become successful. They know who you're looking to meet. They know your goals and they like you. And so I want you to see if you can come to with 3 people. If you can't, even introverts, I want to challenge you. Make 3 friends on day 1. You don't need to make 2,000 friends. You'll see 2,000 people in a room. That's intimidating. You make 3 friends. Everybody watching this, whether it's live or on replay, I am so confident you can make 3 friends. So make 3 friends and say, hey, I am super introverted, or this is my first time, and group together by something like first timers. And Podfest, we will have orientation. We'll encourage people. You'll hear very similar, me encouraging people, make a couple friends, be each other's wing people, talk to each other about what you're looking to do and how you're looking to grow, and then try to help each other. And so then you make that. So, but what about the follow-up? So now you know why you're going, you know your big goal, you know who you're looking to build a connection with. And you have a system. You're going to walk around with at least 1 other person, hopefully 3 other people in groups of 2. You're going to meet people. Now you start looking for how is it easier to meet? So it's easier to meet people by, number 1, participating in all the structured activities. And so Podfest, for example, Thursday night, we have the influencer meet and greet. And earlier I talked about influencers and I said, basically everyone there's an influencer because they're a podcaster or going to be a podcaster or a gatekeeper. And gatekeepers are essentially influencers who have a sales relationship with prospects. And so when you show up, you are an influencer too. You're an influencer to some people. I promise you, no matter how much you might not see yourself that way. I promise you, you are an influencer for some people's prospects too. And so we have a very structured networking event there, and it makes it easier. Hey, answer these 1 questions, and you start meeting those people. And so at Podfest, we do this on day 1 on purpose. So you can make friends right away and you can easily have 3 people. So number 1 is go to all the structured stuff where you're going to meet. Number 2, stay in and around the hotel at all times. I know some people, hotel blocks fill up. Sometimes hotel blocks, like our block, sometimes the Wednesday night or the Thursday night will fill up, but Friday night and Saturday night don't. It's okay to say, hey, I'm packing light. I'm going to stay. If I can only get a hotel for these 2 nights at the event site, I'm going to stay at the event site, even if it's 1 night. Yes, you might move, but you're going to move anyhow. You're going to be coming from the other hotel or an Airbnb or whatever. If you wanted to do something beforehand, and you come to that hotel anyhow every single day to be there. One day, just bring your bag and check in for that last night. You spend 1 night there. Staying as close as possible, if not at the event hotel, allows you to go to those parties at the end of the night, to have those unscripted, spur of the moment meetups and participate in those and meet those people. So stay there. And the longer you are at the hotel, the much easier it is for that. And then when you meet people at the to have those moments, right? When they, like a lot of people say, oh, Nick, you must have been in the right place at the right time to get involved and have an opportunity for the publishing company, have the opportunity to write books for all these really cool people and have the opportunity and all of these things. Yes, I was in the right place at the right time, but one of the easiest ways to be in the right place at the right time is to be everywhere all the time. And I don't want to say that with pressure. I say that to exaggerate, right? But the more you are present, the more opportunity you have for all of those. I don't know how it just happened. All of it, like out of nowhere, I made this connection. It wasn't out of nowhere. It's because you were in the room, be in the room. Um, and then the other way to do it is to make sure that you're making these connections and that you're following them. I want you to, when there's someone who really want to meet with, and it's, hey, I'd love to schedule a time to Zoom with you after this. Let's continue this conversation. Most people will then, like Ty referenced, exchange business cards. Physical business card, is it a virtual business card? It doesn't matter. Virtual ones are cool. Physical ones are cool. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. I almost like the physical ones better because if you have your notebook, you can write down, but you can also write a little note on the business card. If you write the note on the business card, it's great. If not, in the digital one, and there's a notes part to it, fill out the notes while you're there. Hey, let me make a note on your V card because I want to make sure that I follow up with this. And so when you do that, but that's fine. And so you exchange the business cards and say, hey, I guarantee you every single person there has access to their calendar unless their phone ran out of battery. And we'll talk a little bit about you should bring a backup phone and a charger with you if you can. Because not backup phone, backup battery, phone charger. There will be places where you can charge your phone, but especially if you're not staying in the hotel, if you don't have access to your charger, you'll be asking people for charger. Although I guess that's a good icebreaker if you have trouble going up to people, is asking, hey, do you have a phone charger? So what I want you to do is if there's someone you really want to connect with afterwards and they say, I'd love to talk with you, just say, hey, well, I got my phone here. You got your phone here. Why don't we just find a convenient time and put it on the calendar now? Because I don't know about you, but when I get back, I'm going to take it probably a couple days to decompress. And then I'm going to be catching up on all these emails. And this is so important. I really want to follow up with you. If it's on my calendar, I know it will happen. So why don't we just schedule a time right now? And so I've been doing that. When I tell you I haven't left with over six figures worth of leads from a conference, it's, first of all this other stuff goes into it. Am I going to the right conferences? Do I have my goals? But the number one strategy, it's literally a strategy that can make millions of dollars, is for the high leverage, high impact connections. Schedule the call before you end the conversation. Hey, this is fantastic. And it's a great way to interrupt yourself in a conversation so that the conversation doesn't go long. You're talking to someone, you're like, oh, this is great. And like, I would really love to connect with her afterwards. You say, hey, Jolene, this is awesome. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to continue this conversation because I have a couple of ideas that I think would be mutually beneficial for us to talk about. And then literally hold up your phone and say, can we schedule a time can we schedule it right now for us to talk? Maybe next week or the week after. Because I know if we just exchange business card, I love your business card, but if we just exchange business cards, it might go in my pocket. Who knows what might happen to it? And I know when I get back, it's going to be busy, but I really want to make sure that we continue this conversation. And if it's in my calendar, it will happen. Do you have any time? And as you're doing that, you're opening, you're like, and it will happen. Do you have any time? Do you have any time next Wednesday? The February 2nd. I don't know if Wednesday is the February 2nd, but do you have any time Wednesday, the 21st, maybe at like 10 a.m.? I could send you a Zoom link and an invite. Yeah, absolutely. Or, ooh, that doesn't work. And as you're doing that, they're going to pull out their calendar and they're going to look and you're going to be comparing calendars and then say, okay, great. What? And then you hit plus on your phone and you hit event and you say, okay. And you're going to write Nick and Jolene Nick and Jolene Podfest chat, whatever it is, right? And so you type in Nick and Jolene Podfest chat, and then you say, what email address should I send this to? And you just look at them and they say Jolene@Jolene.com. Say boom, boom, boom. There you go. All right, it's in your inbox. Make sure you get it. Got it? Accept. I will update that with Zoom information right before our call. Or you can just, like I have on my phone, if I type in semicolon Zoom, it'll automatically populate to my Zoom room. So you could just say, the alternative to this is have your TidyCal or your Calendly link ready and say, and just literally book an appointment for them. So you go to your TidyCal or your Calendly. Let's see if my TidyCal shows up. TidyCal.com/Nick, maybe. I don't know. But so you pull it up and say, okay, well, what time do you want to go next? Talk next Wednesday. And you literally book the appointment for them. And then it's okay. What email address do you want me to send the invite to? Because then it's a free time. And then you said, okay, great. I just scheduled it in my Calendly. You should have an invite in your inbox. And they say, great, this is fantastic. Hey, before I let you go or before I leave, while I'm walking around, who are you really like? Are there people I can look out for who would be good connections for you? And I'll see if I can make an intro. I have your email address. Is it okay if I email you a connection if there's a blank XYZ, whatever they say, that I meet who I think might be a good connection for you? Of course, they'll appreciate it. Everybody would love those another wing person walking around. And so when you do that, you create reciprocity, you create that follow-up automatically, and you get that Zoom scheduled. And then on that Zoom, super easy. Hey, this is fantastic. You just keep, can we reconnect maybe in like a month or something? Because I think I'm going to be looking. So then you just have that. The follow-up is predetermined. And you're going to be the person who like, man, you're really great at follow-up. So why are you great at follow-up? Because you don't let the conference be overwhelming and that stack of business cards. And when you get back to the desk or to the house, life just takes over. And so if you don't know where to go to the expo hall. Sessions are great. Information, you could always buy the replays. Most conferences allow you to buy the replays. If you want videos, you could do that at Podfest too. Go to the content ahead of time. Look for the speakers that you might want to meet. Look at the topics when you get there and create a schedule. I would go to a few or really plan the content ahead of time. And then when you don't have a session that you really want to be in the expo hall. The expo hall is going to have the sponsors. And why is sponsors so important? First of all, sponsors keep ticket costs down. And so the more sponsors you see and talk to and say and do business with, if it's a good fit, the cheaper your tickets are going to be for that conference. Most conferences would love to have more attendees. And one way to get more attendees is to keep ticket prices. When our costs double, if our sponsors are like, don't worry, we got your back, we don't have to raise ticket prices. And sponsors will have our back when they see people in the expo hall. But even more important for you is that their sponsors are investing a lot of time and money. It doesn't cost a lot to sponsor, but by the time you get people there, by the time you go in there, they are interested. In fact, many of the people in those booths are being measured by how many people do business with you, and they're connected. They have access to people. They have access to each other. They know the event. They're great people there who are natural networkers. Most of them, some of them are founders who might be introverted and they're just checking a box like, okay, I know I need to do this, but others are there and you talk to them, you have a conversation with them just like this. You can definitely have an ally there to help connect you. So if you don't know where to go to all of the scheduled stuff that you can, all of the forced networking or the structured networking, go to the sessions that you want, go with a few people, have a plan, have a goal, know who you're looking to meet, schedule that follow-up ahead of time, bring a notebook with you or have someone where you could text for additional notes on someone, the real not high priority, as in there's, certain, but the ones that you think could be really good, mutually beneficial relationships, schedule that time with them in advance. And then have a system when you get home, even if it is 1 hour within a week after the conference to go through that spreadsheet that you have or your notes and just send a quick email. It doesn't have to be a big paragraph. Hey, it was great talking with you at Podfest for those who you didn't already schedule with. It was great talking with you at Podfest. I just wanted to shoot this note to say, hey, I'm sure it's busy, but I'd love to continue the conversation. Maybe we can schedule a Zoom. Do you have a calendar link? Like that simple message starts the energy moving forward towards the return. And it's no pressure, right? They will write back and say, no, I don't have a calendar link. Or yes, I do. Here you go. Pick a time. And then you get to pick a time on your schedule. You don't need to have anything profound. You don't need to have already created the checklist that you said you'd give them or anything like that. You just continue that conversation. So have a goal, have a plan, know who you're looking to meet, structured stuff. When there's no structured stuff, go to the content that you want to see. Go to the expo hall. If you can, go with another person or 3 other people. Know what each other's goals are. If not, make 3 friends on the first day. Talk to people. Spend 5 or so minutes with them, and then say, hey, this is great. I'd love to follow up with you. Let's continue the conversation. Perhaps exchange business cards. If it's super, super high priority, get on your calendar, schedule it on your calendar. And then when you come home, you have all your notes organized. You send that quick intro and you're able to really, really efficiently have fun and get a super big return, or as I like to call it, you get to crush that conference. So that is all I prepared for today. I hope it was helpful.
That was very helpful, Nick. Thank you so much for going through all that. And you kind of seen it from every point of view, right? So you started off, I mean, you've been on the floor, you've been an attendee, you've been a sponsor, and now you're helping organize with Podfest now. So from every perspective of that, what do you suggest is a good, I know you said like stay around the hotel, right? Because there's a lot of things that are always going to be happening, especially in the expo hall. And there's always going to be talks, there's always going to be events. How should people sort of pace themselves through it too? Because it can become kind of overwhelming. A lot of us podcasters we love to be heard, but we don't like to be seen. Like we're that kind of introvert, right? Where it's
Yep.
like, oh gosh, turn away.
Yep.
Um, for that type of person who kind of has that social meter that runs dry, needs to like get a recharge before they come out and go back at it again. What do you suggest there?
Yeah, I would say 2 things. Number one, and this is something that I did not bring up specifically during the substance of what I was talking about. But number one is use the event app as a way to schedule what you want to do. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. You can't do everything because there's going to be 2 or 3 things going on at the same time. But prioritize the sessions you want to go to, the events that you want to go to, but also, especially if you're either within walking distance or at the hotel, I'm a napper. Like when I go to events, I will nap for at least an hour each day just to get that extra burst. But also give yourself permission to say, listen, I'm going to push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone by going to a couple of things. But I'm also at Podfest, for example, we have a quiet room, and it's okay to just go in there and sit. I don't know what's in it. Like it's it's different every year, but usually there's like bean bags or something to sit comfortable on, and go in there and just meditate or just sit in silence. The other thing is we're in Orlando. Now, if you have an event in February in my backyard here in Boston, this might not be the best advice, but we're in Orlando. Um, Go outside. If you are talking with someone and you're gonna be talking with them for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, say, hey, you want to walk outside and just get some vitamin D, get some sunshine. I'd love and where our space is, there is an area right next to a outside, and there's something about the energy of the earth. And if you're not having a conversation or you don't think it would be too weird, like have your skin hit the ground. Like if there's grass or sand or something like that, like get your feet in the sand, get your feet on the earth, get the energy there to help really prop you up there. But also, and do that by yourself too. If there's a 15-minute break when you're not doing anything, sitting in the corner indoors could be, if you just need a brain break, try to get it outside. There's something about the energy of the outdoors, especially with warmth and sunshine, that can help restore you.
Absolutely. And it's good practice, in social skills. And I
Yeah.
mean, like you're talking to people constantly, and people will approach you constantly, usually. I found that there's some easier ways if you're the type of person that doesn't like to approach other people. I found it kind of easier to get somebody else's attention whenever you have like the big, bold branded clothing, or like bright colors, or dress the way you want to be, perceived. If it's themed around your podcast or so. I've seen people wear cat ears because their podcast is about cats.
Yep.
And it gets attention, right? So it gets people to approach you. Oh, I like your shirt. And so that kind of opens that door for you so you don't have to be the one to initiate those conversations as well. It's kind of useful.
Yeah, and you can actually, we may be doing this at Podfest. We're still working on our t-shirt order, but I believe if you go to Amazon or other, like, you can get a t-shirt that says, "I'm an introvert, but I love to meet people. Please start the conversation."
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. So there's some other unique opportunities also that are going to be happy at Podfest to get that good practice where maybe, your podcast is about, something else, or as part of your like a business, right? So a lot of businesses have their own podcast, or you have a podcast as, subvert listeners over to whatever you're selling, what I mean? Maybe a service that you have, or a business or product. But you guys are partnering up with the United Vendors Association this year to
Yeah.
have a pitch. You can pitch your product to them.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a panel, and we have an opportunity for inventors to have a little section within the expo hall to showcase their invention. But the United Inventors Association is going to have a panel of people who either invest or advise inventors. I think it's like it's either an hour or two where we can go in the room and talk about your idea, talk about and get feedback from it. And they it's a pretty cool organization. They go to events all around, and they approached us about coming to Podfest because a lot of them, like, they go to the PGA Tour event,
Mhm.
and there's all these golf inventions, but they haven't. There's so many cool podcasting innovations, maybe not inventions, but innovations, and both, I guess. But really breaking into, we're so creative. Like, by nature, we're all creative. And so there's only a small leap between I'm creating content and I'm creating a solution to a big problem. Like, we have the brains to do it. And we're naturally inclined to do it. So yeah, we're really pumped that they're going to be there to help put legs to people's ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned earlier about, knowing who you want to meet before you get there. Once you get your Podfest ticket, then you're added to Whova is the app that you guys use.
Yep.
You can see all the people who are going to have booths. You can see what they're going to have at their table ahead of time. I thought that was pretty nice. I've never seen that before at another conference where it's like, oh, I
Yeah,
know I can
yeah.
go get the thing here. And there's also, so on your Podfest website has a list of all the major sponsors. There's the newsletters that you guys put out. I mean, so like it's easy to find who's going to be there, and to prepare about, okay, who do I need to approach and what do I need to approach them about, and then do that preparation like you were talking about, prepare to go in there and meet them. So the answers are out there, and it's pretty easy to find who's gonna be attending. And there's a lot of really high valuable people. I mean, Adobe Podcast, were part of your sponsors this year. Blueberry, RSS, the other big ones, like, of course, the Podcast Academy. I've heard of them once or twice.
Yes.
Podmatch, Lips and Buzzsprout. I mean, like, these are the people that you need to be talking to anyway, because even if they're not the ones that you really is the goal of meeting, like, they're gonna know those people that you're trying to meet, and so it's growing that network, that spider web of
Yeah.
connection. So,
Yeah, and our
um,
app will open up a couple weeks ahead of time. So you
mhm.
can even start those conversations. And we encourage you, get active in the app. You can even post, "Hey, I'm looking to meet these types of people." Like, anyone, you know, or you could even do, "Hey, I have a meetup for true crime podcasters. You guys want to get together," or something like
Yeah.
that. You can post your own event, and people will come to you because everyone's going there to advance in some way. And if you just make the first move, it'll be really, really. We have groups. We have groups. We have this group of podcasters who started out as 9 people saying like, "Hey, we are people of color. We'd love to get together and just see other." And now they have a group of like 150 people who are all coming
Oh,
together. Like it just grew over like 3 or 4 years.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
So we're running short on time. Nick, thank you so much for doing this and for sitting here and taking the time. I love the way that you're delivering. Everything was so concise and in neat little packages and organized. And so,
my pleasure.
absolutely, you did a great job on that. So people can go to podfestexpo.com and to get their tickets now to prepare. Like I said, all that information is there. You get added, the app becomes available 2 weeks before the event is there. We're excited to be there. If you're going to be there, please do come visit our booth. We're giving, headshots. We're going to do interviews and the Ambi statues. We're going to give out some of those, let you practice your Ambi speech before your big win.
Oh, I love it.
So this is also being recorded for anybody who registered for this webinar, and so we'll send out that link pretty soon. And Nancy, how are you?
That's it, really. Be on the lookout. This will be going up both in our Slack and our recorded events on our website. So if you didn't get to tune in today, we hope you tune in soon. Um, and I'll be there too. So I will see you all at Podfest.
Oh,
Sweet.
awesome! We're all going to be there. Look at that. Why would you not come? We're all going to
I
be there.
know.
You know?
All the cool kids are going to be there,
Absolutely. All the
and
cool
me.
kids are going.
Yeah.
It's a good
You're
one,
the
Nick.
leader.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you
thanks
guys
so
so much.
much. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing
Thanks,
day. See you at
everyone.
Podfest.
Bye.
Bye.